You, your health, and your business on today's episode.
You are listening to the Champion Hustle podcast. Play to succeed in business and in life. Featuring Levi Hunsaker and Ryan Black.
Hello there, and welcome to the Champion Hustle podcast. This is episode number 60. My name is Ryan Black.
And my name is Levi Hunsaker. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing well. Good morning, Levi. This is
Good
exciting.
morning. Yes. So we've got a special guest. If you're watching on the video, you can see him joining us in the top right corner there. And Ryan, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest for today?
Yes, gladly. So our guest today, most people tend to know him for his phenomenal sports record. As the most decorated natural bodybuilder in history. He's in the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame, has hundreds of bodybuilding titles. Actually, he's Mr. 777, as it's known. 7 times Mr. Natural Universe, 7 times Mr. Natural Olympia, 7 times Mr. Natural World. This is somebody who has many decades of achievements on an international level in 4 different sports. But we do love that about him, but we love even more that he is a man of integrity. He's a man of God. He is a father. He is a husband. He is a pastor. This is someone who has impacted countless lives around the world, continues to do so, and we are grateful to call him our mentor and call him our friend. That is none other than Mr. Ron Williams. Ron, welcome to the show.
Welcome,
Thank
Ron.
you so much, man. I am so happy to be with you guys today. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, for those of you that have kind of put or know of Ron's past, his history, his business, his endeavors, he has this brand around champion life. And if you didn't notice, we are Champion Hustle, and that Ron is actually a big inspiration for that part of our show of bringing about your champion life through your relationships, through your business, through your personal integrity. And so Ron has been a huge inspiration. I know Ryan has done personal mentorship and coaching with Ron, and I've also done some coaching with Ron before. And so Ron is just a huge inspiration for both of us. And we wanted to allow Ron to share his life and his light, and what he brings is incredible. So we're happy to have you, Ron.
Yes.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Ron, and when we were trying to figure out, okay, what topic should we cover when Ron comes on? We could make a year's worth of episodes with him.
Yes, we could.
And so we said, well, let's keep it simple, and let's look at you, your health, and your business. I know that Ron, you have you've coached and mentored and worked with all different, professional level athletes, as well as executives and business owners and entrepreneurs. And so we thought, why don't we talk about that? Some of the things that you've seen in working with with these types of folks, where they are so focused on just money, or just the business. Maybe they're not having that balance that they should have, and they're sacrificing their health and some of the consequences that come from that, and maybe some ways that we can help some of our listeners avoid some of those pitfalls, because they're easy to fall into.
Yeah, yeah. That's really good, Ryan, because that balance is really crucial. I mean, it really is crucial. You know, um, Being at the top by yourself alone is a very lonely place to be. I know what that's like, but also if you don't have that balance, it seems like for most people it falls apart. And when you put money first, a lot of times what happens is when you reach your goal, you find out that's not what you really wanted from the very beginning. Um, but it's the thing that we focus on and we drive towards. And once we get it, we don't have the balance, so we're really not who we were intended to be. once we reach the top. And if you don't straighten that out early in life, it's a hard road to try to get back on once you reach the top, because it takes years and years to get there. And then you've got to backtrack and try to find that balance.
So then, how, when we're talking entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are so focused, so laser focused on on growth and on scaling and are building a business, just getting things started. I know the one thing that sometimes people say is, well, if I'm focused on doing these other things, I'm detracting from my goal at hand, and I've got to be laser focused, just do this and nothing else. What would you say to someone who kind of has that mindset?
I've been there, and I know what that's like. It's like, personally, I was in a place where I really needed to be financially set so I could do some of the things that I wanted. So I became laser focused. That's just part of my personality, is to really focus and do one thing and do one thing well. So what I would say is that it's really important, more than accomplishing that one thing, is to develop a foundation of what your life is going to be based on. If you're married, focus on those important things like faith, family, fitness, and finances. Those are the four areas that I make sure I keep balanced. And we take all sorts of classes, Ryan, and for we do coaching, we do mentorship, we do all these different things to get money. But what about that marriage? We expect to see ourselves in 5 years to be in a better place, with our careers, with everything that we do. But what are we doing to get there? And then we see ourselves in the future with these great marriages, but we haven't done anything to build that marriage. We just kind of think that we're going to wake up one day and we have this great marriage. But we have to spend time and we have to focus. I see you smiling there a little bit, Ryan. We have to focus on those things, and what are we going to do to be a better spouse? What are we going to do to be a better person? So I personally have my own mission statement, personal mission statement. Um, and I focus on that mission statement and I go over it every single day. And with that being said, I have a mission statement for my marriage. I have a mission statement for my work, a mission statement for my fitness. And those things are important to me. So I focus on them and I put things into play I set goals, and then every single day I work on those goals.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead,
huge right
Levi.
there. The mission and the vision that you've got, there are all these different areas, and if you only focus on one, well, that's the only one you're going to get. And this is, I feel like you're speaking to me today, Ron, because I'm the exact same way. I get hyper focused and will just dive in and drive down on one thing at a time. But there needs to be, I think balance is kind of a myth, but there needs to be some attention given to all the areas of your life on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. And that is huge, to be able to say, I need to take a step back and have that vision, have that mission statement in each one of these areas. So I focused on business for so long, but recently, after being called out specifically by a mentor on this very thing, I had to take a step back, clear everything, and say, okay, what is the vision, and start there.
One thing, when we talk about balance, I want to explain that just a little bit. When I talk about balance, see, scientifically, what they say is if you have one thought in your head and you focus on that one thought, you're gonna give it, from the frontal temporal lobe. You can give 100% to that thought. If you have two goals or two thoughts, you can give 50% and 50% to those goals at best. If you have three, it breaks down to 33, 33, 33. If you have four, the very first thought falls off and it becomes a good idea that never happened. So what I have done, instead of having three or four goals or three or four missions, I have just one. And that one mission, that one goal is it's four areas, but it's one goal: faith, family, fitness, and finances. If I put God first, he says, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So my first goal is my faith in God. With finances, he says that he wants me to prosper and be in health, even as my soul prospers. If a man doesn't take care of his family, he's worse than an infidel. The Bible says my body is the temple of the living God. So I'm supposed to take care of it. So it's all really one goal. So that's balance. I've got a complete balance there because my number one focus is my relationship with God. And when I do what he wants me to do, everything else falls into play.
Yeah, I really like that because I like how you said it. It's really one goal. It's one because I think sometimes we tend to kind of compartmentalize or to silo the different areas out. Well, I'm going to focus on business, and maybe I'll spend some time with the family, and maybe I'll do a little exercise or improve my diet or whatever. And it's not. It's all one thing because they all are connected. And when you look at it as a single approach of, well, this is how I run my life and this is how I run my business, and it incorporates these elements, that it's a little bit of a paradigm shift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, oh, go ahead, Levi.
Yeah, so I mean that's that comment that Ryan made is that they are all interconnected. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to really focus in on how does your health impact your business. We all know that when we get hyper focused on our business, that can impact our health if we allow it to. But how does maybe not the greatest health have an impact on your business and your performance in that area?
On on uh, on both levels. If you're extremely healthy and you're fit, you feel good about you. Number one is the problems don't go away. You're going to have problems, but problems are not the worst thing. It's how you deal with those problems. And if you are healthy and you're fit and you feel good about yourself, the problem that you have doesn't have the same impact. I mean, you feel good about yourself, and your thought process is, you know what? I've had problems in the past before, and I'm going to get through this. But if you're unhealthy and you're depressed, everything seems dim and bleak, and you start to look at things more negatively. Your health is really important. You can get all the wealth that you want to have, but if you don't have your health, you'll spend all of your wealth trying to get your health back. So it's better to stay healthy as you're going through the process, feel good about yourself, and the more healthy you are, the more you have to give to others. The easier it is to build your business. So health is a tremendous part of it, especially in the day and age that we're living now with COVID. When you have those comorbidities, you become less confident. And what we know now is whether you're overweight, underweight, you still can get COVID. Whether you get vaccinated, you still can get COVID. COVID-19 is a inflammatory disease, and if your body is filled with inflammation, that's one of the comorbidities. If you're overweight, if you got diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, cholesterol, asthma, those types of things are comorbidities. And so if you have high inflammation, that is a telltale sign that if you get it, it's going to hit you worse. So what can we do to get rid of the inflammation in our body? It's an autoimmune disease. If your immune system is low, then it's going to attack you. And see, every day when you walk through life, you're thinking, man, my immune system is compromised and I've got inflammation. I mean, that deteriorates your confidence. But when you know you're healthy and you've been doing the things that you are supposed to do, you're better capable of fighting the enemy, even COVID-19. So that's one thing. So health is vital. Your health is vital. You lose your health, you don't have anything else. All the wealth that you've gained, if you're not healthy and you end up expiring, somebody else is going to spend your wealth.
We don't want that to happen.
No, that's a lot of
I'll
hard
take
work.
it personally. Personally, I'll take it because there's a lot of good that I could do with your money.
I'm gonna say no on that one. Sorry, I'm gonna hang on to it because I'm not expiring anytime soon.
There you go.
So, in I know that Ron, that you've worked with many people over the years. Would you say that there are maybe some common themes or maybe personality attributes or mindsets that you've seen that kind of differentiate those from those who are accomplishing and realizing that kind of champion life, that champion life aspect versus those who are not? There's got to be some reoccurring themes that you've seen over the years.
Yes, one thing I believe, Ryan, is I believe there's a champion in each one of us. We were born with this champion inside. And the thing is, we've gone through traumas, we've gone through life. And sometimes life doesn't deal the best cards. Some of us get better cards than others, but those challenges that we have, the more we're capable of overcoming those challenges, um, the more strength and the more power they provide for us. Those challenges can be used as stepping stones to thrust us forward into our future. But some of us, we allow that to completely consume us and keep us down. And the real us is still inside, but it never gets a chance to shine. So my biggest um, concern, or with the people that I work with, is how long is it going to take me to help you troubleshoot and dig out some of those things that have hindered you, and how devastating were those things. If we can dig those things out and build that foundation that I'm talking about, most people actually begin to live what we call the champion life. There's a program actually that I put together now, and it's about bringing out your masterpiece and really bringing out the champion that's inside of you, and it deals with a lot of troubleshooting. I believe that everything basically is made from a seed. All the fruit, the vegetables, everything that we eat is made from a seed. Ryan, as a matter of fact, you might not know this, but you were made from a seed. Did you know that?
I do know that.
When your mother and father came together, there was a seed, but a seed reproduces after its kind. And we're born and we have these seeds inside of us. And I believe, well, I know this, that many of us have seeds inside of us that are perfect seeds. But a seed needs soil and it needs an environment so it can grow and produce fruit. Some of us, we have seeds that have never been planted in the soil of our hearts, so they can produce fruit. Some of those seeds are books, some of those seeds are businesses, some of those seeds are inventions, some of those seeds are cures for cancer or whatever it might be. We have these seeds inside of us, but we get what we call wounds and traumas that surround those seeds and protects those seeds from ever being planted in the soil of our hearts. And so we can live our whole lives and not get those seeds planted. And those seeds are perfect, but we die with these perfectly good seeds inside of us that never reproduce. And that's what seeds do, they reproduce. I had lots of seeds inside of me. So when I started dealing with those traumas and those soul wounds and removing those things so that the seeds could be planted, man, I had to make up for lost time. I learned how to read at 28, start writing books, start inventing stuff. I mean, man, I had a lot to catch up with. I started speaking. I never thought I could speak, man. Started businesses. I'm like, wow, all these seeds inside are being planted. And so I'm all over the place making things happen. My goal is to help as many people as I can find those seeds, uncover them, get rid of the traumas that are hindering them from being planted so that they can flourish and they can become who they were intended to be. Because these hindrances They hinder and they stop your destiny. They stunt your destiny and they keep you from being all you were intended to be.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I mean, as you started kind of pushing away those trauma aspects of your past and allowing those seeds to be planted, that talking about making up for lost time, I think a lot of us feel like that once we kind of wake up to the facts and where we are and where we are headed and what our vision and goals are, and then we just kind of push. In all of that, you had all of these new opportunities and new aspects of your life that you were exploring. How did you keep your family, your faith, your finances, and really your health, your fitness? How did you keep all that in line together as all of this started coming together, probably a lot at the same time?
All of those things that you mentioned, they were a part of it. The reason why I grew up without family. I grew up not having finances. I grew up not having any of those things. But when those traumas and those hindrances were removed, it allowed me to expand into all of those areas because the traumas kept me blocked from wanting to get close to people. The traumas kept me blocked from developing relationship with business people. So all of and the traumas kept me in a place where all I could do is stay in my shell and develop my body and be miserable because all I had was building this armor around myself, trying to protect myself from ever being hurt again. Because when you looked at me, I wanted to be intimidating. I don't want to try to hurt that guy. I mean, he's dangerous. When I would give you this look, it means don't mess with me, man. I'm not the one.
I'm glad I've
But
never
I'm not
gotten
even
that
good at,
look.
you know what? I'm not even good at that anymore because I just love people. And I'm a magnet. Not people are drawn to me, but I'm drawn to people. And so I think people like me pretty good because I love people. I really do. And so I'm able to build relationship now that I couldn't build. And life is about relationship. It really is. If you have a business, if you have a business and you have a product, guess what? You need people to buy your product. So you need people. You can't do this by yourself. You can't do life by yourself. You can't even, I can't even have a heritage by myself. I can't leave children as a legacy. I can't do that by myself. I need somebody to help me out there. I need a partner.
So speaking of partners, one of the having you as a partner and being able to kind of go through that process, and having experienced in your own words, Ryan, I got to be your dentist. I got to hurt you before I can make you better. Um, for you know, let's go to, let's say there's somebody, because I'm sure there's somebody listening to this who is in a position right now where they haven't been able to plant those seeds yet, and they're in a position where they're saying, man, I've just got these traumas or these experiences or soul wounds that are just hindering me from being able to realize my champion life and move forward and achieve the faith, family, fitness, and finances that know that I'm capable of achieving. But I just can't get there.
Yeah.
To that person that's out there, would there be a couple of tips or a first step that you would say, focus on this, do that, so they can try to steer the ship in the right direction and start making a little progress towards achieving that?
Absolutely. One thing is I would look for when I go through with a person, one of the first things I look for is I want to find out what the culprit of the problem is. And sometimes the culprit starts at a real young age, 3, 4, 5 years old. Sadly enough, many times it starts with your parents. And we love our parents, and we try to find no fault in our parents if we can. Some of us do. Some of us, we just point the finger at the parents. But find out what the culprit is. It's not so that you can place blame, but there's a hole there that with that hole is sucking your energy, sucking your life. And so you've got to fill that hole with a culprit. Once you plug that hole and get past that hole, you can move forward because that hole will drain you. And oftentimes that requires just something that is hard for many people, and that's forgiveness. So, forgiveness for whatever that trauma was so that you can move forward. Some people say, we all have a past, just get over it, move forward. You can't just get over it and move forward. You have to deal with that thing, otherwise, it affects your other relationships. So, if you say, well, I don't know that I mean, people look at my past and say, I have no problems. I mean, I can't complain about anything. I look at what you went through, I have no problems. But actually, it's all relative. It's all relative. What affected, see, my childhood, I didn't know it was any different. I didn't know kids didn't have food a lot of times. I didn't know kids weren't molested. I didn't know kids didn't have their real mother and father around. I didn't know any of that. I just knew what my life was. And I thought maybe everybody else dealt with the same thing, or I didn't think about it at all. It was just my life. So it's all relative in how it affected you. So you have to go back and find out what it is. And you say, well, I don't know how to do that. There's another way to find it. Find a trigger. Find a trigger. Like what triggers you? Like if your wife says something, you say, well, you were just triggered. Why were you triggered? Because if there's a trigger, there's a gun somewhere in the vicinity. If you get triggered, there's a gun in the vicinity. And if you are triggered, not only is there a gun in the vicinity, but there is explosive material that's been encased. We call that a bullet. And that bullet, when it explodes after you're triggered, whatever caused that is the culprit. So if you can find a trigger, you can trace that trigger back to where it came from. And that's one of the things that I believe God has gifted me at doing is help uh, taking people back, finding those triggers, and then getting rid of the culprit, finding out where the explosive material came from, and then creating an atmosphere where they can get past that and reassociate so that they can move forward. And some people,
Well, I think we
Did
may
we
have.
lose Ron?
I think we just lost Ron. I mean, he still shows up here, but his audio looks like it cut out.
Man, that was getting good.
I
That
know,
was
right in the heart of it, man. Ron,
that
come
was
back.
juicy.
Oh, yeah, I am not sure, guys. Apologize. We've got some technical difficulties. No, he just fell off. So he, man, bummer. You know what? I think what this calls for. We're gonna have Ron on again.
Ooh, I like it.
I think we are, and that's man.
That's
talk
pretty
about a
wild.
cliffhanger. Talk about a cliffhanger.
That
Well,
an unintentional cliffhanger, but I think we've got a cliffhanger going on here. But,
yeah.
yeah, I think we'll definitely have to pick that up for round 2 with Mr. Ron Williams.
And he's calling me here. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone. Oh, no. Hey Ron, I've got you on speakerphone. You disappeared. Oh, are you there, Ron?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you. Did your computer die?
Yeah, it's dead.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just wrapping up the episode now, and since you left everybody in a cliffhanger, we'll just have to have you on again in the future so that you can finish because, yeah, you just left everybody wanting more.
Man, that's horrible. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I'm still on the thing. I mean, I can see my face, but it's gray. It's gray now, but you two went away. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's all good. We really appreciate you coming out to the show today, and we're gonna wrap things up because we're about at 30 minutes. Anyways, what we wanted to let everybody know is, if you want to connect with Ron and find out some more about him and some of the great, I mean, he's got all different. He's got several books that he's written that are phenomenal relating to health, and he's got different exercise equipment and supplements. He's got coaching programs, training programs, all these just tons of cool things. The Iron Chest Master, which is an incredible piece of equipment. Basically, go to rwchampionlife.com. That's RW, like Ron Williams, rwchampionlife.com. You can also email them at support@rwchampionlife.com. You can go there and find out some more information about Ron, about some of the programs and things that he has available, and connect with him online. He's also got some great YouTube channels, some other things out there, so you can easily find him and find out more information. And Ron, we really appreciate you once again taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today on the podcast.
You are so welcome, man. Listen, we have to do it again, Ryan, because I ain't ending like that, man. It bugs me.
No, it's all good. We will have you back on in the future, and yeah, Levi, this has been a very uplifting episode.
Yes, it has. It's been good.
Thank
and
you, guys,
I just had to.
and we'll talk soon. And I'll see to it that time you get that information over to you, man.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Ron.
Okay.
Thanks,
God
Ron.
bless you both. Bye-bye.
Yep.
So I just kind of had to be quiet a little bit because only Ryan could hear me. So
Oh yeah.
I'm in Ryan's headset, and so Ron wouldn't be able to hear anything I was saying. But man, we were so grateful that Ron was able to join us today, and he was kind of bummed about the way things ended. It was getting pretty juicy there with some great tips. So we'll definitely have to have him back on again. And remember, one of the big things Ron is doing right now is coaching. So if you're feeling stuck in your results, your life, your business, Ron has some amazing coaching programs that Ryan and I have both been a part of. And so head over to rwchampionlife.com to get connected with Ron. And for us, next week, we're going to be diving into the crucial mindset traits that every leader should have. So with that, we're grateful that you were able to join us today, and have a great week, everybody.
We'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Champion Hustle podcast. For more great content and to join our online community, visit us at championhustle.com.
It's the cat versus the dog. Oh, I was trying to turn myself into the shaggy dog.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, say goodbye to all the nice people. Oh, wow. Hey, I'm married. Come on, bud.
Oh, boy.